Hey everybody, it's Bust with Bust Builds Decks number 39, and today we'll be trying to take down Lissandra, the Frost Witch in the 5-star quest with our 2-star Viego. Hopefully we can finish off this quest line that you have to beat Lissandra and beat Lissandra with Viego. I feel like it's accurate that both of those are a thing, and so hopefully we help you on that journey. But to get you in tune with our Viego, what we always say about every Path of Champions deck is you need to scale, which Viego does well. You need to have a catch-all removal spell like a Vengeance. There's a bunch of removal in Shadow Isles, but the big pain point for Viego is the elusive Overwhelm or Rally. And so we're going to have these big, gigantic encroaching mists. They're going to get into combat. Your 2020 encroaching mist is going to get blocked by a 1/1 and do absolutely nothing. And so if you caught our previous video where we battled Aurelion Soul, we went about it in two separate ways. We had an elusive Scout Viego, which was one way to get around the opposing units, and then we had stance swaps so that we could put Overwhelm stance onto Udyr, put it onto Viego, whoever, so that we could punch through with Overwhelm. So within the constellations, if you have managed to get yourself up to a 4-star Viego to pick up that Overwhelm, congratulations. You should be having a fairly easy time with this. And if you have the rare relic that gives your champion Overwhelm, congratulations, that should be useful as well. But we're having to take our Viego down a little bit different route due to our lack of stars and our lack of relics. And so what we're going to be using again in this video is the Disciple of Shadows. It is an epic relic, so it may be tough for you to find, but it works fantastically with Viego and the Slayer's themes. And so it makes your Viego cost 1 less for each ally in play. Then when he comes into play, he deals 3 damage to all other allies. So it kind of does a double feature of strength with Viego to where it kills off your smaller plays, spawning the encroaching shadows, and then in the later game your encroaching shadows are big enough to where the playability does not actually kill them. After that, we're just using Banshee's Veil. You tend to find that your deck is heavily reliant on Viego doing stuff, and if you play him and the opponent just immediately kills him, you tend to really struggle in those games. And so what we're going to be aiming to do is play Viego on turn 2 or turn 3 or so, and then just have him scale up and take over the game with his protection from the Banshee's Veil. And so that is it. That is the deck. That is the adventure. There we go. That is the Frost Witch. Let's jump on in. See if we can't have a good battle. Took me too long to get there. I lost my cadence. I had to take a massive pause to get the Frost Witch out here and ready, but I'm ready now. I hope you are too. Let's see what turns up. And so, into the support champions. How do we feel about this stuff? Not that excited. Jinx is always okay, but she doesn't really thrive in a deck like Viego's. We tend to have a bunch of expensive stuff that can be challenging to get rid of. Otherwise, not super interested in Callista. She is going to level up pretty easily with our deck, but she doesn't fit any of the other themes particularly well, in the sense that she wants us to do, well, maybe she could. Like, I was trying to think towards, like, the Slayer's style of stuff. She does want us to see 3 allies die. I guess we could figure out a way to, say, play a fading icon with Callista on the board and then follow up with Viego and kill the smaller units. Like, maybe she'll work out okay. But I'm not amped about the Callista. Maybe we should be. She works with the encroaching mists as well. She does come with some sucky cards, though, with the Black Spear and the Haunted Relic. I mean, I guess at the end of the day, she doesn't elusive Overwhelm or Rally, which is a pain point, but I think that her ability might be good enough with Viego to just work well, in the sense that she actually has Regenerate here. She can survive that Viego blast when he comes on board, and then if she attacks and summons an encroaching mists, that's not a bad deal either. And so, all right. I'm kind of convinced. I'm minor convinced. We're certainly going to need some help from there, but I do like to save the rerolls for the epic chest right at the beginning, and so maybe that will help us out there. Okay, and so interesting set. So the Reunited is always good with Viego, boosting all of your encroaching mists. 1 stat is pretty good. The Grander Plaza is quite strong as well, to where when you summon an ally, give it +2/+2 challenger and a random keyword for this round. And so since most of our units are just going to die the round that we play them, the Grander Plaza should be fairly strong in that sense. And so I think that's what we'll take. Don't really want the Chilling Prophecy. We're not going to do anything with landmarks. So moving down, unfortunate day for us, a weak 100 gold chest, womp womp, into the shop. what do we got here? And so as far as the cards go, there is a crumble right from the start. It is a slow speed removal, but this is one of the kind of catch-all removal spells that we're looking for. There is a also item on a black spear, which I'm not nearly as interested in. The black spears at least aren't super useless in this deck because they do start with gloom, or they apply gloom instead of dealing damage, and so it's never completely dead, but it's just not awesome, you know. But let's take a peek at what we have out here, and interesting stuff. Very good things across the board. It's a bit of a bummer that we didn't get a big gold start here, and so if you caught our previous video, you can see some of the real high-powered nonsense you can do with Shadow Totems. In the previous video, we had Udyr with Shadow Totem and Deathless, and then we had the Trifarian Might to just strike the opponent pretty much infinitely as soon as we played him. And the Shadow Totem does work nicely with Viego. It's very easy to flip a Viego when you have the Shadow Totem because the unit that it summons tends to be like a 10-power play, and that just really gets him super close to that 20 to level up. And I'm very interested in leveling up Viego throughout this Lissandra run, as it's our premier way to take down opposing champions. And so I'm kind of interested in Viego. We could also finish off the Watcher, right? We could take control of the Watcher and finish off the opponent that way. And so interesting things there. Otherwise, Shape of Fear is also quite strong within this deck, and it's something that we're going to be using early to try and get our Viego on board. And so if you want to imagine on turn 3 or turn 2 of the game when we have 3 mana, if we play Fading Icon, hit it with the Shape of Fear, that gets us 4 units on the board, and then we can just immediately play Viego. He will kill all of the other units on board, but that is one of the ways to get him down super fast. And so I am interested in the Shape of Fear that has the Summoner Stone attached to it, but I think the Viego upgrade is probably just going to be better. So we'll take him. We can swing back to the shop, see if there's anything else we want. I don't really want that crumble. Let's take a roll or 2 here at the beginning and see if we can't upgrade that way. So I'm usually pretty okay with Dust Up Diplomacy. It's just a very strong way to come out and spend a bunch of mana, and so I'm interested in it. Also with it summoning a random champion, it should be hitting Fizz or Annie. Both of them are relatively strong early game plays. These other cards not super interested in, so yeah, let's dust them up. It costs 90. I'm not certain if we can get the full stack. Looks like we barely can. And now on to the battles. And so what do we have out here? Chamber of Renewal. I think it just does something to a champion. It puts Spell Shield on a champion, I think, and our Viego already has Spell Shield, so I'm not super interested in it. Otherwise, the gold chest is meh, and then there's an item chest down below. Let's head towards the item chest. We can still move from the mini bosses in the middle, right? We'll have to fight either the Draloirn Inquisitor, or we have to fight the Ithit Stairs, and so Ithit Stairs can be a little bit painful for our deck. That's the mini boss that they just play all of their expensive units on turn 3 of the game. It's like a damage race that we can't really beat. If we'd taken that Ruination earlier, maybe I'd have felt better, but we do have to go towards the Draloirn Inquisitor this way, I think. So, okay, I can handle that. So, first battle up against the Yetis. He's got that Rhymefang pack thing to begin with. Let's see how it goes. Ooh, I'm still riding high off of our previous run with Udyr. We've got so many of the cards here. I'd really like to do some more fun stuff with these Shadow Totems and picking up Deathless, whatever we can do. I'm on board. Alright, so how do we have a start here? Dude's got a Trapper, not that big of a deal. We can try and get... Oh shit, I forgot that we have... I have to remember that. I already forgot that we had the Grand Plaza thing to give our units a big bonus, and so... Again, we'll have to keep that in mind. Looks like we should be able to get Viego on board here. Right? If we Shape of Fear... the Aristocrat will have 4 units. We can also get 2 units off the Dust Up Diplomacy, but we'll lose everything at that point. Is this nonsense just gonna survive because we have the +2/+2? Oh snap, I didn't even envision that. So both of our Encroaching Mists will survive Viego coming on the board? Okay, okay. I'm on board, I'm in. Oh man, we are popping off here on the first turn. Look at all this shit. Look at this nonsense. Do we just win the game this round? We're going to be a little short of that. A little short, but There's no denying all of these challenger units are quite strong. You just come in, kill off the opposing board, hit for about 24 or so, 25 once we get the level up. Not a bad day at the office.
The Shadow Isles are just the beginning.
Get in there and just fuck them up, my dude. I'm glad we at least got to pull some of that off here. In the previous video, I wanted to showcase some of the Viego scaling and stuff, and it didn't quite happen in the early pieces of the run, but certainly did it here. You can see with one of the things I did call out in the previous video is you can see the Viego ability popping off to where, what's this? When an ally with 4+ power dies, reduce the cost of all 4+ power allies in hand. We just had like 5 or 6 of those die, and you can still see the Camaveran Dragon out here costing 4. And so that is one of the things that hasn't been completely fixed. I'm not certain if it's a text bug or a game bug. It's certainly some kind of bug. But you do have to watch yourself with that. I would assume that the Camaveran Dragon is meant to be upgraded. That's probably one of the reasons they put it in the deck, but it's just bugged at the moment. And another thing to know with Viego, if you're not familiar with how he sequences as we come out here and just annihilate the opponent, is if you have Viego flipped and your board is completely full, you will steal the strongest power opponent from the strongest power unit from the opponent, and then it just gets removed from the board. And so some of the cards like Possession, you just can't play if you have a full board. Viego just nukes the unit away, and you don't have to worry about it anymore. So important to know with him as well. All right, strong enough battle. What do we have moving forward? Not really interested in any of this garbage, but I guess the Black Spear is a card that we can just add copies of. One of the plays I'm kind of fond of is stacking a card that we don't want and just cutting it later. And we could look to do that with the Black Spear. It's probably strong enough to not really want to, right? We have cards like Possession that I want to get out of our deck, but Astral Fox and the Minion just aren't really on theme with what we're trying to do, and picking up the Manifest on a Black Spear has some potential to hit another removal spell or something. It could definitely be worse. So moving on into the item chest, what do we have here? Quick Attack Invasive Hydrovine is what immediately comes to mind. I don't really want these Camaveran Dragons at this point, and so the Hydrovine is kind of an interesting unit in the sense that you have to avoid combat with it a lot because you don't want it to die, right? It's a reasonable play just having it sit around generating encroaching mists, but the quick attack really helps here, especially remembering that we have the Grander Plaza to pick and choose the combats he's going to get into, and so it seems like a reasonable add to me. Now moving forward, I would like to go to this champion item chest. We're going to do everything we can to just get these maximum stacks of Viego, and so the champion item chest will help us in that sense. And so we'll battle with the Troll Scavenger here, and then make our way up to that Draloirn Inquisitor. Right, into the next set. The Encroaching Mists is interesting. Putting items onto the Encroaching Mists is kind of nice, but it does put the actual card within your deck, which is a little bit more on the meh side, right? And we do have access to Mask Mother. I'm not 100% certain if with Mask Mother, if you can just go infinite, right? The interesting thing with Mask Mother would be is, when it's summoned, you create a fleeting copy in hand. And then if you can reduce its cost down to 0, then you just get to play it for free over and over and over again. And there's a handfuls of ways to kind of come in and reduce the cost. I do have to get in my head that we are up against this stupid fucking Lissandra battle to where you can't just go infinite at the end game. And so I really want to take the Mask Mother and see if we can't just build something sweet towards it. But I have to really remind myself that we get a really sweet deck for like 90% of the run, and then it cuts away at Lissandra. And so I guess we'll just take the Encroaching Mists. I'm not excited about it. I would be really excited about what we could do with this Mask Mother, but sometimes you just don't get to have fun, you know? And so onto the champion item chest. Another interesting set. Viego coming down with start a free attack is not horrible. It does help us, you know, push towards that elusive overwhelm or rally kind of thing, but I do worry about him just hitting the board and immediately dying. And so maybe we stay away from the quick strike blade and look to just pick up the more generic Colossal Hammer. Now, we could look to put the Colossal Hammer onto Callista. The interesting thing with that being is that she would then have that 5 attack that she would need to get the reduced cost as some of our units die. And so maybe that's actually the way to go here, is try to get this free Callista on board. So if we want to imagine we're still like high rolling like we have been on turn 2, to where we have a sacrificial unit on board, we play Encroaching Mist, then we play Viego, then we have a bunch of units die, and then we would get to play Callista for free. Like, maybe that would be a thing. I guess we wouldn't get to play her immediately because we need the Encroaching Mists to die, but I like the idea of what we can pull off with that. So we'll skip out on the copy of Viego to get a little bit more combo-tastic with Callista, and then we'll see what we can do from there. Try and stack in more copies of Viego still as we go. And so now we're headed up to the Alpha Wildclaw, then we'll hit either a spells chest or a power. Is that right? What am I missing here? Oh, we just can't go to the Draloirn Inquisitor? Why does it have the thing on it? How have I messed this up? It looks like we can go to the spells chest and then the thing and then the Draloirn Inquisitor, and so maybe I'm just crazy. We'll have to see. Alright, so what do we got? A bunch of garbage. I don't really want any of this stuff in our deck. It's tempting to reroll here. Like, we're never going to use Shark Chariot. There is some heal out of the Darkwater Scourge, but that's kind of as good as it gets. And Withering Mist doesn't kill anything. And so I guess I'll just take one, so we aren't just cutting something that we will have to cut later. And then the Mysterious Port, or the Atrocity would be fine, or the Spirit Journey would be fine. So the thing to call out at this point is, like, I'm kind of happy with how we're cruising through destroying all of our opponents here, but we still haven't picked up a removal spell. And so Spirit Journey is kind of close enough in the sense that the opponent attacks us with the Watcher, we can Spirit Journey it out of combat, not take the damage there. But I really don't like it coming down with Summon a Poro. I don't like how that takes up the space on our board, because that's one of the bigger limiting factors with Viego. And so I'm just going to pick up the Atrocity here. It's not like super great in the Lissandra battle. If you want to be like, oh boy, I'm going to take Lissandra down from 99 to 70, right? It's not nearly the same impact as it would have in Constructed, but it's something, and it synergizes a little bit with our unit stealing and stuff. So yeah, here, we're going to come up to the Draloirn Inquisitor. It seems like we can do that, right? I'm not crazy. I'm still not crazy. It's another set of garbage, though. Just another set. I guess we'll pick up the Crumble. Oh, we could have just left there. That's my bad. So let's cut a card. I want to take the Possession out of the deck. Did they patch this and fix it? It used to have... It's costed 5 here recently. I don't know why it says it costs 3 now. It's also missing, I think it's supposed to have an item attached to it. I didn't notice it only costs 3. Still don't want it, but interesting. All right, then the Draloirn Inquisitor is up, and so he's up against the +1 starting mana. The foe has 10 mana gems. They get the Watcher. Okay. Gotcha. Surprised me. I thought it was the Tryndamere Nexus, and it confused me a little bit, but it seems like we're okay. What do we want here? I like this hanging on to the one Hapless Aristocrat. I think we need to get rid of everything else, or maybe we hang on to Dust Up Diplomacy since it draws a card, and then we just want to try and dig and find that Viego. Not a great start, a bit worrisome in terms of finishing this game off quickly. We got the Harbinger of Thralls. Not certain what I was hoping he played, but I wanted it to be something that we could kill with our Dust Up Diplomacy. All right, and I have to remember, I did kind of immediately write off this Haunted Relic that we just drew in our hand, but it is worth remembering that it's going to get all of those bonuses from the Grander Plaza. How bad's this turn gonna be? He's about to summon a bunch of stuff. Really need to hit Viego. We gotta start cheapening up our hand here, and so I'm gonna drop in a Death Grasp, send it up towards one of these Frostguard Thralls, and then we'll see if we can't do any better with some of these summoned units. Got just more garbage. All right, well, we'll take the Onslaught of Shadows. Gotta have something going there. And then we're counting on our boy Teemo, right? He's still coming in for the big damages. Fuck you. Come on. That's an appropriate reaction. All right, so yeah, a little worried about this. We haven't been able to really chain through any big boys here and get these Hydra Vines online. He's been tearing through the day with all of these big dragon things, but maybe we can turn it around right after this. Let's play the Onslaught of Shadows. This is going to generate the 4/4s. And then when those die off, it'll cheapen up these Hydra Vines, I think. You gotta preface that with an "I think," as we aren't entirely certain how this ability works. I think we're going to have to just come in and prevent the damage.
Get me out of here. You'll see me. Yes.
Something like this. I don't know why the Oracle's Eye keeps freaking out and not helping us. Why is Teemo going to die? Something have an ability? Draloirn. I don't take damage from skills. I don't get why Teemo has the flashy on him like he's about to die. There's the cheaper price on the Hydra Vines. Very much needed. So what's going to happen here? Fareth is going to die. Then the Hydra Vines will go down to 3, so we can play 2 of them next turn. Okay. That gets us in a little bit of a better spot. That quick attack is going to be extremely relevant on the round, being able to quick attack challenge down these Frostguard Thralls. It's kind of fucked. Don't really appreciate what you did there, my friend. And so, let's see. Let's take some of these units off the board. Oh, we did mess this up. I was... we didn't pick the strongest of attacks here. We had some, like, I was immediately like, well, the Damien the Unbound has the highest health, so we need to jack up the health on the Encroaching Mist, but the more important ones to get off the board are these Frostguard Thralls because they have more attack power, and so we messed it up there a little bit. Whoopsies. And then from a AI standpoint, I'm not certain that we should be taking these smaller bad units off of the board. right? If we leave the Thrall bulwarks down, it really limits his ability to put actual good units into play, especially since you can't overwrite them with summons. And so if he plays a Frostbite summon a Frozen Thrall, whatever it's called, if his board is full, he can't summon it. But I guess when we're taking these Frostguard Thralls off the board, the opportunities aren't really there to completely fill out the board because we're killing off some units. I think we're okay now, though. It was a little scary there for a hot minute when he was getting all of his thralls going, but I think at this point we're looking a lot better. We can atrocity down this Draloirn Inquisitor and prevent the other two frozen thralls from hitting the board. Wouldn't mind overriding this Spiderling either. Right, we want to hit a bunch of encroaching mists next turn. We don't want just a rando 1/1 on board. Okay, can we even finish this off this turn? It's close, and I'm not gonna math it. I just blame it all on Teemo. He should have won this game a long time ago. But what's this? Deal 4 to all. Oh, he's just killing off our Teemo. That's kind of fucked, dude. But I think that does get us closer to actually finishing off the game. Oh no, the bulwarks don't take damage. Fine. what else is there to say about it? Let's at least boost up our Hydra Vines. We're in pretty good shape though now. He's only got one card left. We got this massive board. Everything's gonna be fine. Getting those big damages through and stuff. It's been interesting with Dust Up Diplomacy. I forget that it can generate Lucian. And it's very RNG heavy to kind of count on Lucian to turn up, but he does work fantastically with this deck in the sense that we have a lot of the Slayer's themes in here. You could just play a Haunted Relic and almost flip Lucian on its own, and so some interesting options out there if he wants to get involved. How bad is this? I saw that he's got the Watcher in hand, but it costs 0. I guess it doesn't really matter. He's not going to nuke enough of our deck with this thing. We'll just kill him on the next turn. I think. I was curious if he was going to be willing to attack his Watcher into our giant board. Doesn't seem to be the case, and so I think we're good now. We have some space clearing up. We're going to steal something. Just need some more challenges to get this stuff out of here. Alright, well, let's do this. Rip Fizz. You fought hard, my friend. You did a lot this game. You got on board. Very impressive. Here we go. Is that enough now? 4 or 30 something? Yeah, we're good. Okay. Get to watch that Watcher animation while we're at it. It's nice when it's on your side of the table, right? It's typically Lissandra's Watchers coming in and just blowing up your deck, and so nice to get the opponents out of the way. Okay. What do we got now? Just more black spears? Sure. Like, this is just really priming itself up to be something we cut as soon as we can. And so we'll get up to 6 stacks of it. There'll definitely be a healer before we get to the end space, and so I think that'll be fine. In terms of these, I don't really care about these units or these boss fights. Trundle shouldn't be that bad in terms of a mini-boss at the end, and so if we go to the item chest and to Blighted Ravine, it's not that big of a deal. I don't really want to go that way though, right? I'm looking towards this Mind Meld. I can't remember what Mind Meld is, but it's got the epic sticker on it, so it's got to make it good, right? So we can go Mind Meld into the Snail Moth. We'll come up top and hit the shop. I think it's a shop up here at the top. Fight Ornn. Go to the shop, or go to the healer and cut out our 6 copies of Black Spear, and then go fight Lissandra. It seems reasonable to me. And so yeah, let's jump in. Mind Meld. Choose a card and cut all copies of it from your deck. Each choice costs health. Okay, I'm not opposed to that. Let's burn 1 roll on this. We didn't hit. Okay. It's like I kind of want to save the reroll when we get to that epic shop at the end. So let's just stop there. Like, we already cut the persuasion, the control magic out of our deck, and so it's not like a ton of stuff we really need to cut. So battle up against the snail moth. Okay, let's get this one finished off. Not a great set of cards in here. The upgrade to Chimeran Soldier is kind of fine. We tend to just play this, I think, defensively in this style of deck, and so having him come down with Ephemeral's not that big of a deal. Moving on up to the shop. Shit, don't leave. Ooh, that was almost a bad misclick in there. So what do we have here? As far as the items go, the Shape of Fear with a bonus card's not that bad. Like, these Shape of Fears are quite good in the deck that we have out here, and so having it generate something from the Emperor's deck isn't terrible, especially in the sense if we say, like, generate the 10 cost unit out of the Emperor's deck, like the barrier strike at the end of the turn guy, he should get cheapened up by a lot of our stuff, but it's not something we super need to add to our deck. So let me take a look at these cards real quick. Top row, don't want. Bottom row, don't want. I could take a reroll up on this and see what happens, I guess, and then at the end of the day, if it doesn't come together, coming back to the shield for Callista and the Emperor's Favor is not that bad. What do we got? We've got a Crumble in here. Creating 0-cost copies doesn't sound that interesting. One that's kind of interesting to me here is this Singular Will. Pick an ally, recall other units and other landmarks, and then have a rally attached to it. I haven't used this against the Lissandra battle, but no, the power in Lissandra comes from the Frostguard Thralls hitting the board off out of the Frozen Thrones or whatever they're called, and if we get to send them back to hand, they all cost like 5 mana, right? And so it should be very tough for her to come back down and replay all of those. So I could see that being a thing. The downside with Singular Will is if we're ever going to have the mana to cast it, which I guess it's doable. It just, we tend to really just pop off with our units in the early game. It's something that, I don't know. I'm having a tough time convincing myself that that's what we want. So let's just jump back here. We'll get the item for Callista. We'll get the Shape of Fear bonus. Now we move into the Ornn battle. And then we'll cut those Black Spears out of our deck. Okay, okay. I think we're there. Well, I think we're to the final boss, so we'll have to see if we survive here. We are running a little bit low on health. We got dusted up a little bit in that previous game, dropping down to 11, and so a little bit to work on there. I want to be a bit defensively because I don't want to heal before the Lissandra round. Let's just play the dust up first. Make sure we have 2 blockers on the board if that's what it comes down to.
There is a story in...
Is this the one where Ornn comes out of the lake of lava?
Curious how he responds to just like all of our... Oh, he doesn't even have the attack token. Fuck me. Like, life gets a lot easier when he just doesn't have the attack totem. Oop. Forgot that we get the the support bonus. So let's just keep this board small.
Doesn't mean everything.
Alright, got one cost reduction on our Callistas there. Not bad. What is she? A 7-8? It's a respectable stat line, I guess.
What good are the war mothers? That egg.
Oh shit. Okay, so the 10-10 hit the board, and I was like, oh shit, we didn't do anything to get in front of that, but we'll be okay here. I think we get to start popping off for the turn, but kind of a bummer in terms of all the damage we've taken. I think we'll just have to accept that we're probably going to battle against Lissandra and then have to do battle twice. Right, starting at 6 or whatever it is at the beginning of the day is kind of a scary position. But at least with this point, you get to kind of see a lot of the idea that we had with this deck. We've got all of these Haunted Mist tokens on the board. We'll kill all of those off with Viego. That's going to activate the Callista, summon some Encroaching Mists, and the Callista flip will be able to summon more Encroaching Mists along the way. And so, not a bad combo. Who's she gonna summon? Why is the game... Oh, is it... I can't remember if you just never got to see that off the Oracle's Eye or not. We want it to be like this. We want an Ephemeral, then we want Callista, then we want the Ephemeral Viego, and then regular Viego down at the end. So that looks good. Then for our challenges... Boy, it's just like so many options in here. Sending back these overwhelm things kind of sucks. All right, that looks reasonable. And Callista's summoning Encroaching Mists, very strong. So we're gonna lose a bunch of units here and then start to get cost reductions on the Hydrovine and on the Great Beyond. I think we're okay. I think we'll have enough stat line to survive through a big overwhelm attack from one of these dum-dums. And then just not die, right? I would rather high roll against Lissandra at 4 and then have a revive there as opposed to dying here and then just go into the Lissandra fight once at 35 or whatever our starting health is.
Hold it steady for me, like that.
Right, there we go. We'll cast our one Black Spear before it's all said and done.
Every betrayal sharpens our resolve.
He needs Aurelion Soul, man. We got the Viego bonuses to make all of our units cheap. Alright, how bad's this? I should have stopped talking. I spoke too soon as this Ornn's about to rampage us for a ton of damage. 28-28, yeah, we're kind of fucked here, aren't we? I guess we should have kept it quiet. He doesn't have Overwhelm, but the Ram is what's going to get us. Did hit Lifesteal though. Is that enough to save the day? I don't think so, but give it a shot. Neg 1. So close. Alright. Well, I think we can take down Ornn, right? That wasn't a particularly close battle if we'd started with a reasonable health total, and so... Again, it's too bad. Like, I would prefer to go into the Lissandra fight at 4 health or whatever, and then still have the revive as opposed to going into the Lissandra battle at full health. Is what it is, I guess. Dims the risks you take. Right, we'll get rid of all of this nonsense. Try and find something a little bit cheaper out here. At least got a unit. Not the greatest start.
Hold it steady for me, like that.
You must know me, little one.
Bertha, please tell us a story.
Kill any of this stuff before he starts dropping time and dedications. I mean, we're gonna get the unit from the fading icon right back, so I think we should go ahead and take off the weaponsmith's apprentice before he gets those forges.
Tell me a story about Ornn.
Still looks very scary.
Long ago, he stoked a fire beneath the mountain.
It's like I know he's got this fearsome shit out here, and seeing our units drop down in stats worries me quite a bit. His hand is not strong. Maybe I spoke too soon. Maybe we're just gonna get our shit wrecked today. No attacks. He doesn't swing into the 9/9 Chimeveran soldier. Okay. Still gotta find something. We gotta find a Viego or an invasive Hydrovine or something. Here's Hydrovine. Can't quite get him on board just yet.
Lady Elise, where are you?
What good are the War Mothers?
Oh Jesus, he gets the 10/10 cultist. Oh, we're pretty fucked, aren't we? this is gonna be bad. This is gonna be bad. I mean, I think we can at least take this. So maybe we can kill the cultist in combat so his units don't get overwhelmed. And then it's also going to give us a cost reduction on the Hydrovine.
It's nice.
Oh Jesus, might just be fucking dead. I think we have to Black Spear now. Picking up Vengeance. I mean, it's a removal. We're not going to be able to cast it for like 5 turns, but it's got some potential there. Yeah, the thing I was trying to aim towards here is if we can take the cultist off the board, we can cancel a lot of his overwhelm. But we're about to just take a fuckload of fearsome damage here. Oh, sweet Ornn. God damn it.
The god of the forge, you.
Okay.
I made this hammer. It was so good I named it Hammer. By my grandfather's
I guess we can dust up diplomacy. It's going to put 2 units on the board, and then we can still play Death Grasp in the middle of combat. Try and get a takedown on the Icevale cultist. Just Ornn has overwhelm on his own. Or is that because of the cultist? God damn it. I thought this was going to be so easy, and then we just got a weak draw.
You cannot hold us down.
You know
Fuck
not
this
what
up.
you
He
do.
doesn't have the ram on board. You got to at least appreciate that a little bit. And I don't want the proliferating Dark Wraith to die. I don't want to draw that thing later. So this might do it. I can't tell what equipments his units have. I think he's getting overwhelmed from the cultist, and so this might keep us from dying. I couldn't entirely tell. The Oracle's Eye's been mega fucked this round, and so I don't really know. Seems like we're not dead. Now, do we want to play the soldier this turn so that we get the cost reduction? I don't think so. We'll save it for next turn. The challenge from the soldier is going to be incredibly important. Now our boy Viego turns up. Okay. We might have just turned the tide. So the thing I'm trying to keep in mind is the Viego is going to hit the board with the totem, and we're going to get the additional copy. And so if we order these right, we'll get all of these extra Viegos on board. I think this is fine. And now we have, like, if Ornn sticks, if Ornn is still here at the end of the turn, then Viego should just kill him next turn. And so we've got that going for us as well. Might have turned the corner on this one.
I will find her.
like that. I really wish the Oracle's Eye wasn't fucked here, but I think we just got out of it. Right, we got a little bit of damage in. All of his units are going to die but Ornn, and now we have the Viegos on board to just kill Ornn next turn. Got Vengeance if something goes completely wrong. Okay, maybe.
In your name, I
Yeah,
have
just
fulfilled the
keep stacking up that Ornn.
The name die, boy. Means nothing anymore. An iron will must be forged.
Right. See how that plays out. I don't know what we did wrong with this Weaponsmith's Apprentice. Seems like we miscalculated a touch of damage in there. We did have some supports that probably could have got it off the board, but maybe it just won't matter here. So he's only got the one Overwhelm at this point.
You matter so little.
Alright, we gotta be good to go now, right?
I will tell you.
Tell the one about his fiery breath, Hertha.
Let's just go ahead and add in the Fading Icon. We're gonna open attack next turn. Maybe it'll get in a damage. That's probably a waste. I don't like that anymore.
Surrender to me. I cannot help. Oppose me and die. By his hammer.
Okay. I think we're good. We're gonna get an Encroaching Mist back, and now we can just start sending atrocities to the face.
Mountain.
The classic Viego atrocity to the face. It's what it's going to be all about. It's got the spell shield as well to, I don't know if this deck has flash freezes or anything like that in it, but hopefully that protection's what we need.
Surrender to me.
Still getting out of this with 35. I was certain that we were just dead, and so it's kind of nice to be in that spot. Let's throw Viego. I saw the higher stat line unit with the Colossus come in, but you got to be a little bit safer with that spell shield. Alright, so what do we got? Definitely don't want any of these units. I mean, I guess we'll just pick up more Haunted Relics. We have some usage for them in the early game, and so maybe that's okay. Or do we want Rasa? Rasa being able to kill the big plays, maybe that's a little bit more important. So we'll take that into the healer. Gonna cut these 6 black spears out of our deck. Where you at? Oop. Thanks for being a part of the game. End of the final battle. It's the vulnerable battle against Lissandra. I think that's a decent roll. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe it means our Viego's a little bit at risk, but maybe he'll be fine. Trying to think if we want to hang on to any of these Hydra Vines just to make sure we have something expensive. Probably need to. It's rough. He came right back. He said, I have to be a part of your day. I have to be a part of your game plan.
All things grow cold.
Lucian comes in. Again, Lucian is pretty interesting in these games in the sense that we have a lot of ways to kill off our own units, and so there's a very real chance that we get to chase after his flip ability. Let's get this stuff off of the board.
Finally, some action.
I think I'm fine to just throw away Fizz.
Ice coming in.
Just put the highest damage unit into Lissandra, deal damage with everybody else, and then just hook the Thrall into our quick attacking Lucian. Got a couple of stat ups on our, cost reductions on our Hydrovine. Okay. And then also an interesting thing could happen with the Blade Squire in terms of what stat thing we hit on it. Probably just gonna lose our Lucian right here though, right? We don't get to pick and choose how this combat goes. How many deaths has he seen? 2? Guess we can't really do too much with that. I do want to get these cost reductions on the Hydrovine though, so let's do the Shape of Fear. Get them as cheap as we can next turn. And what was this? +2 attack? Could be relevant. We're going to have all these challenges next turn, maybe get to take down one of the big units.
Our sun rises.
There's a -4 coming in for our Hydrovine. Okay. And Viego. Awesome. So good looking stuff. Let's see what we can do. Gotta watch ourselves. I'm gonna get messed up with the cost increase once these cards come into play. That Lissandra thing's gonna smoke us.
You will do as I command. Ages pass, but I am eternal.
These encroaching mists are about to get huge though.
His blessing is life, his anger death.
What did he hit? He hit the... Weird. Okay. So we haven't actually killed anything off yet, so once this encroaching mist dies, it's going to boost the size of the other one. So we can get him up to 9. It's not quite enough to take down one of these thralls.
Sight in.
Okay. We get our boy Viego down next turn. I think that's where things should start to really turn. What's the Watcher at? 2 of 5. It's got a few turns before it can come down. It is a bit of a bummer that we can only get
A dark cloud.
we can only get like the one Viego on board right now. Ain't nothing we can do about that. All of our units got vulnerable. We should still be able to go big though. Watch Viego just hit Deathless, right? That's the key word to hit. He did manage to spike Overwhelm. So he's gonna flip at the end of the turn. He's gonna be hooking in the Frostguard Thrall, which isn't exactly who we want. We prefer to just be killing off these champions, I think, but he's going to be okay. And then I'm curious about the sequence here. If the opponent just puts like the Watcher onto board and doesn't get to attack with it, and then we just start stealing it with Viego, there's a bit of potential for interestingness there. Our unit doesn't get to challenge. It's a bit unfortunate. We can still to say like Death Grasp it into Trundle, or we can just override it. Maybe that's the way to go.
Echoes of my wounded past.
It's always cold in the Freljord. You're in my kingdom.
I think we're good. I
now.
think we're in decent shape. We should be taking this down.
The dark beckons.
So these don't grow, right? We don't have any ways to make the... Oh, we can... Here we go. This is how you get that Trundle off the board. Anybody have Challenger? It's so awkward. There's so many flashies on the screen. Okay.
Foolish child.
Obliterate onto Viego. It's gonna stick because of the ice shards. Kinda sucks.
Feel the power of true ice.
But one of the interesting things is all of our units are just gonna be dying here. This Rasa should be super cheap. And so if he does put a couple more plays on the board, Rasa should be able to take them down. Okay, I think this is okay. Why did our VA... Oh, that was weird. I'm not certain what happened there. Does this kill all the two weakest? So we are going to have to deal with the Watcher next turn? It's not the end of the world, but... not what I wanted. So, I mean, I think we'll have enough stats to be able to attack through this. We have the tools to get a completely full board. Not amped about that. It's like these frozen tombs take up the space that our relics need. Oh no, everything just has vulnerable? We are fucking dead, aren't we? Oh, well, I guess if that's how you want to do it, maybe we aren't. What? Alright, AI. Alright. Right, I was thinking it's not being able to Haunted Relic is pretty painful. I almost want to just go ahead and do it. So that we get the Invoke this turn. We should be getting Viego back for next turn. Maybe we'll just wait. He's going to summon a copy of himself back in. So he's going to be quite strong. No? Why didn't you totem? See, this is why I wanted to do it on the previous turn. Now it's like we pick up the Supernova, but we don't have the... Oh, they took that off. You used to have to Behold, didn't you? What do I know? I thought you used to have to behold a Celestial to Supernova.
Oppose me and die. Surrender to me.
Yeah, well, it seems like the turns have tabled. I don't know. I don't even know what to think anymore. I feel like we should have been done for turn after turn after turn, and things just keep managing to go our way. So let's see. I don't know what I don't know how else to describe it other than we'll see. He gets a bunch of units on board. He can't kill us. He doesn't make any attacks. Okay. It's like we're still infinity damage short of finishing this game off. Oh, we're out of cards. Oh my god, I forgot about the Watcher. I don't think we would have had enough to be able to finish that game off. We had a... Maybe we could have gotten there with the Encroaching Mist, but we couldn't affect how their blocks went, though. And so I don't know. Maybe we could have gotten it, maybe not. I completely forgot that the Watcher attack happened and we lost our deck, and so I was getting so hyped with how far ahead we were getting, and then that kind of completely fell apart. And so it's tough to say. You know, the deck certainly had the power to get the job done, but we came up a little bit short there in the end. But hopefully that helps you get kind of in tune with how to use Viego in these things. I feel like we've gotten a lot of coverage on him over the past 2 videos, a lot of useful things in terms of how to really craft this deck. And so there's a lot of positives happening with that. A little mess ups along the way, but overall a pretty good run. And so, good stuff. I had fun with that. I hope you did too, because that is going to do it for us today. So if everyone enjoyed the video, we maybe learned a thing or two along the way. You had a good time watching. This is Bustin' Weed. Thank you for being here.